Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you're having a great day. And this morning, pre market video, we were here. I was telling everybody, all the subscribers, that we can go to neutral zone and then you can expect a bounce and easy bounces here, easy money here, almost zero point 0.6. Now, I did not expect it to keep going higher. So I told everybody to take profits. You should start taking profit as soon as it reaches this first standard deviation, the distance line, and it went even higher. All right, so you can see now these are futures S&P 500. They are now in short term very oversold, and they're near second standard deviation. So we will see in the morning where the levels are, but as of this night, these are the levels. If you trade futures, you can look to this is right near resistance. Okay, so even if I zoom in, you can see here we're making new highs with lower momentum on PPO, or sorry, on RSI. So at minimum in the morning, I would expect a drop. I don't know if we're going to get now, but it's up 0.22%. So let's see in the morning where we are. Depending on the day or the trade, we could get like a quick drop to around 9.9%. And depending on where these indicators end up, 0.5 to 1%, we can get a drop. That will be a good area to buy. Neutral zone, these are key price rising. All these lines will be rising. So we'll see where it ends up. But at minimum, like what happened here, Friday we closed near second standard deviation and we gapped down due to Israel news. There's this war going on in Israel, so we dropped. And you can watch a pre-market video. I was telling exactly we could get back to neutral line. That will be good area to buy, and then we got a bounce. Okay, Nasdaq 100, same thing here, near second standard deviation. So this is not the time you want to buy long. You want to take your profits and then wait for a dip to buy zone, which are these green lines. Same thing on US 30, Dow Jones, and same thing on Russell 2000. All right. So let's get rid of this indicator and let's bring in another indicator called PPO, and then let's try to analyze daily charts and see how we are doing on traditional market. So let's go to daily chart, and here you go. So let's go back to let's start with and Nasdaq. Why don't we start with Nasdaq? I usually start with Bitcoin, but let's start with Nasdaq. And on Nasdaq, you can see what's happening. Short-term daily chart, and this gap is filled. If I go to 1 hour chart, let me hide these. Let me go to regular hours. Okay, so let me go back to NDX. So you can see Nasdaq 1 hour chart. We had this gap down, and this morning trade pre-market video, I said this gap will be filled. So expect this gap to fill, and exactly that's what happened. So we can delete this gap. We don't need that anymore because it's filled. Now we don't have any divergence, slight divergence because we made a new high. Slight divergence on PPO, RSI. You can see RSI is a little bit lower, but there's no negative divergence on PPO. Okay, RSI had a little bit divergence and PPO still looking good. Now there's another gap here on NDX around 15,466, and if I zoom out, let's go back to daily chart. It's easier to see. So these are the gaps. So from here, 15,466, 15,717, and 15,827. Okay, so from here to the top gap, I'm expecting almost 5% pump, and my target for this year, by the end of this year, is new all-time high. All right, so new all-time high from here is going to be, oh, not from here, sorry. Let's see, yeah, probably from here. So new all-time high from these red lines here is going to be around, let's say around 12%, around 16,764 and up. So let's say 16,700. Now, just remember, we're not going to go in straight line. Now, we are a bit oversold short term, but the good news is in the long run, you can see what happened. PPO, if I zoom in a bit, you can see this indicator you're showing green line is above red line. Very good. Okay, whenever that happens, that's a bullish crossover, and that means it's a good news. All right, so indicators are turning bullish. RSI gave me green buy zone, buy dot on 4th of October, and since then we're just going higher. All right, so we could get a little bit pullbacks, but those pullbacks are to buy. So just remember that we will not go straight. We could go fill this gap before we get any pullbacks, or we can get equal low pullback, or even get low pullback. But this is my preference. I think this is a very good bounce. And let's go to weekly chart. Let's bring in another indicator to see what our long-term indicator is saying. So this is 3 moving average exponentials on weekly. You can see those who are watching my channel, they should be familiar with this chart. What this means is always in a bull market, price goes between green line and red line. These are EMA lines, and then bounce. You can see here we came very close to red line and then bounce. I can show you here This is Nasdaq chart. Every time it comes between green and red lines, take energy, bounce, take energy, bounce, take energy, bounce, energy, bounce, and energy and bounce. All right. So you can see in a bull market, it's always like that. Even here, bounce, energy, and bounce. You can see here, same thing here. In a bull market, always goes between green and red line, take energy, bounce. And worst case, it goes to the red line, to the deep to the red line, and best case, it just touches green line and bounce. All right. So going back here, exactly what happened. We came very close to red line and now we are bouncing. And I think this indicator is telling me worst case, we could go to 14,318. That's the worst case. But it looks more like the bottom is in, and this low here on 25th of September is going to be a bottom, and now we're going towards a new all-time high by the end of this year. So be very careful shorting. If you're shorting like short time frame, which I told you, look to take profits very, very quickly. All right. So on triple Q's daily chart, actually, let's go back to 1 hour chart. Same thing here. So I'm going to delete this gap is deleted. So on, let me bring the other indicator PPO again, so we can see what's happening on triple Q's. Oops, what is this doing? Sorry, I need to. Trading is getting very cheap these days. They're deleting indicators. Before they give us 3 indicators, now only 2 indicators. Who knows? They're going to go back to 1 indicator. Anyhow, so same story here, lower momentum on RSI, lower momentum on PPO. If I go to daily chart, you can see the gap is deleted now. So there's also this resistance coming. So let's extend this resistance a bit, slightly like that, okay? And now we are expecting a little bit, let's see if we're gonna go straight up, fill this gap. That's gonna be a bit surprising. We might get some pullback, okay? Also, you can see this could be also an inverse head and shoulder. Like short term, you can see this is a head, this is a left shoulder, and now we're making a right shoulder, and now we're going to go higher. So that's also a possibility. All right. So I'm just going to undo that for now. So you just wanted to give you an idea. All right, so this is triple Qs and S&P 500, same story. And on SPY, there's a gap here, and also this resistance trend line is coming. So right close, right over there, right here. So we could get a little bit of pullback right now, tomorrow, and then go higher, or we could go higher and fill this gap. So this gap from here, let's see, is almost 1.4% away. And again, there's another resistance coming here later on. But for now, let's just actually, this is not the cleanest of resistance trend line here, so I'm going to delete this. Triple Qs is more visible, but for now, it's back testing this trend line. So if it can close above that, that's going to be really nice for SPY. All right, and Dow Jones, same thing here, looking for a little bit pullback, and all these yellow lines are the gaps to fill to the top side. And same thing with IWM, all these yellow lines are gaps to fill. And good news for IWM, we are back on this dotted trend line. You can see here, closed right back on top of that. Okay, so that's very good news. We can get a little bit pullback to test the support breakout and then go higher. All right, let's quickly look at other sectors. Gold gap up. Now that it's good and bad. The bad news is gaps do get filled because of this Israel news. There was a gap up, but eventually, I don't know, maybe late October to mid October will come down to fill this gap. So if you're a bull, just be mindful of that. This gap will be filled. So you can see what I was expecting here. We could get a lower low, or we could get a higher low. Okay, I don't know how it's gonna be. So let's see. So we're gonna pull. We're gonna have a little bit more pump, go back on this resistance line, and then pull back, fill this gap, and then go higher. All right, silver is same thing. We are on this trend line, so we are again actually back on this resistance, horizontal resistance. So we're going to face resistance very soon. Then we're going to go lower, maybe make equal low, or go back in this support buy zone and then bounce. All right, natural gas, extremely bullish moves. You can see that we went straight down here, okay, straight down here, and we could go straight up right here. Okay, so these parabolic moves are usually like that, and there's also this gap here around 4.34. So it's from here where it is right now. This gap is around, well, almost 26-27%. Okay, so if you are patient, UNG is the ETF you can buy. Actually, let me get rid of these lines for now. UNG is the ETF, and your patience will be rewarded. Okay, you can see massive 1.8% move today as well. Crude oil, massive pump, again gap up. So I don't really like these gaps because they do get filled. So I think crude oil eventually will come down, fill this gap. So we're going to make bottom gap like green, and top gap will make red. All right, So go back to daily chart. So bouncing from the support zone, this was a support zone. You can see we came back in this green box. Nothing changed. Okay, this is if you can see last week. Also, I left this box. Now we're bouncing, and maybe we'll go towards a resistance before we make triple divergence, and then go lower again. All right. So don't be too excited on this massive pump, just because of war news. Dollar back on this support. So if the support breaks, that's going to be good for stock and Bitcoin and gold. But if it can hold here and then bounce, that's not going to be good for all sector, right? Bitcoin, let's see. I am getting a red dot like just now. Okay, this day just started, and let's see if Bitcoin can recover. If we get some bullish moves on S&P 500 Nasdaq, then this red dot will be removed, and this green line will go above red line. So far, it's still above red line, but I will confirm by the end of day tomorrow if this green dot stays or if it turns to sorry, if this red dot stays or if it turns to green dot. Okay, look what happened here. We got green dot and next day red dot and next day turned to green dot. This is what you want to see if you want to build. And Ethereum, you can see we got red dot on 5th of October since that it's a selling, and actually it's right on this support box. You can see here before support here, then became resistance, then resistance broke out, support. So now it's again in the support area. All right. Okay, let's quickly look at VIX. Surprisingly, VIX was green and SPY was also green, I think. So let's quickly look at SPY. You can see 0.64% up, and VIX is also green. It's surprising. But anyhow, you can see on VIX cycle low is coming by end of this month. End of this year. So I'm expecting lower momentum on VIX by the end of this year. Okay, and it should drop from here. Let's quickly look at. Actually, I'm going to skip all these tech stocks because actually let's quickly go through it. Apple looking bullish, looking for this gap fill around 181. Tesla holding very nicely, a little bit down, but still looking for this gap fill 291. Microsoft looking for this gap fill 338. Google looking very close to the gap fill around 141. Okay, so Google is very close, and Meta, Facebook also very close to this gap around 322. Amazon. Multiple gaps. Okay, actually, if I go to 1 hour chart, I think this gap is still not filled, slightly not filled. So I'm gonna leave it there for now. So I will let this gap fill before I make any changes. Netflix also looking good, looking for this huge gap 475. Snowflake's looking very bullish, multiple gaps to fill above. All these yellow lines are gaps to fill 176 and 185. NVDA also holding, consolidating this gap here around 468, looking for that gap to fill. AMD. Actually, this gap is still not filled at the bottom, but it's going back on this trend line. This trend line, we can extend it. So for now, oops, let me delete this. For now, let's extend this trend line. Okay, something like this. It could come back to backtest this trend line. Toronto, there was a holiday on Toronto Stock Exchange. Oh, Hang Seng Index. Look what happened, guys. 1.86% pump, and we are breaking out of this trend line. This is a buy signal. China, this is a buy signal. Okay, if you're buying Alibaba, Baidu, anything, MCHI is the index. This is what you want to buy. All right. So let me show you here. This is what MCHI. I think it's going to break out tomorrow. This is what you want to buy. Alibaba, I don't have it pre-market. I think all these should be pumping. All right. So good news for China. Bond market consolidating, looks like bottom is in, but on green line is above red line, which is good news. Also, we got a green dot, which is also good news today. Copper again in the buy box. This is where you should be buying. Palladium, massive move right now. Came to this very good support around 1139. Now bouncing here, so this is where it needs to hold, and we can see an impulsive bounce very soon. Wheat going lower, consolidating, but again, this is still nothing changed. Bullish divergence on PPO and RSI, so nothing changed. I think good time to buy wheat. Corn also same thing, consolidating. You can see PPO is higher, RSI is higher, so it's just consolidating for now. And let's look at soybeans. You can see soybeans also in the massive buy box right now here. And sugar also looks like it's also on this nice support trend line. All right. Gold miners, Newmont mine, this gap is here, so be careful. This 36.35, I'm looking for that to fill. Gold miner, another gap up. So let me actually add those gaps here today because there was a gap up. So this gap will be filled eventually, and it should come back. I don't know when, but it should come back to fill this gap. And maybe when gold weekends by the end of October, it will come back to fill this gap that time. XLK, nothing changed. Are we going to go down, fill this gap, or straight up? We don't know. We'll see. XLE, this gap is filled, but it made another gap up. So this gap is going to be now at the bottom. So this is also going to be filled eventually. XLV, nice healthcare is nicely on this trend line. I told you guys when to buy. There was a green buy signal on this candle. This was a very bullish candle, so this means bulls are in control. XLU, utilities sector, again trying its best, but these are very, very good levels. Once in a lifetime buying opportunity for XLU. Okay, we are getting the price as of March 13, 2019, all right, or even like very close to this 2017 price you're getting. How often do you get that? Very, very rare. So XLU is a very good sector to get in. XLI Industrials also looking good. Got a buy signal yesterday. Day before yesterday. I think Thursday or Friday. Sorry, Friday. And now bouncing higher. Real estate sector in the buy zone, bouncing higher. Also buy dot here, green dot. XLF financial sector also got a green dot. This is a buy signal across the street, across all the sectors. We got a buy signal today. Very, very good signal. KRE, regional bank ETF. You can see green line slightly going above red line. I don't know if you can see it here now, and things are looking good. All right, guys. Thank you. And if you want to join my private Discord group, there's a link in the description. You can join it there. And if you want to be a member, it's like very, very cheap. I think it's almost $7 for a month. And in one trade, you can make money for the whole year. All right. So just join Discord, and also you can message me personally and ask any questions you have, any stocks you like. I can give you my analysis on those. All right, guys. Okay. Good luck. Happy trading. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.